So hello everyone, welcome to Satsang. Let's make some silence first. Silence. Complete absence of important given. No importance whatsoever. Completely devoid of investments. Stillness of attention. Attention rests at the source. There's no need to come out. Nothing interesting calling. Just rests at the source, like a rock which sinks to the bottom of the lake. It stays there, unmovable. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about guidance. It is an important subject, and I've talked about it in other satsangs and the last one also. And for the questions that emerged, it is good to talk a little bit more about it. So what is one of the most difficult aspects about guidance, receiving guidance? Well, first of all, and I will speak from the part which is from your side, because that's where you can make a difference. One of the most difficult things about guidance is you're standing in the way. Because your goals, no matter how much you're convinced otherwise, your goals, your vision of freedom is conditioned by your illusion. So freedom has certain, has a meaning, even if you're convinced otherwise. And that meaning represents the goals connected to the quest of freedom. And that is a big obstacle for guidance because, well, your vision of guidance is that which suits those goals, which is aligned with those goals, which is aligned with a lot of things, a lot of beliefs of what you think is right, what you think is wrong, what you think is good, what you think is bad. So there's no real openness. And let me make it clear that those who are looking for guidance, who really want guidance, they are sincere from where they're standing. But we have to get a better vision of it. You see, delusion is like a mental prison. So the body, the physical body, more or less we can see it represents the individual, the identity, and the world around him more or less represents the not the barrier, but the limits, the boundaries of the mind. And if you just move, if the body moves from where it is, it goes just round and round, come back to the same place. There's no way to leave the planet, for example. But if there is, and you pick up a spaceship, that universe is infinite, as it is with the boundaries of the mind. So it's a good representation. So if you're in the quest for freedom, using logic, common sense, whatever that means, because it is specific to your vision, then you're just moving in the boundaries of your mind. So, like I said in the previous satsang, mind is the labyrinth where you're standing and from what you want to come out. But you're taking the labyrinth, your mind, as the guide out of the labyrinth. It doesn't work. It's like the robber is the chief of police, and he is controlling the investigations. As he is controlling the investigation, he will never be caught. So as you move according to your ideas, interpretations that you are making, it's very difficult to come out from it. Not impossible, but very difficult. You're just moving in circles, changing circumstances, doing a lot of things, but in that space of security, that which doesn't threaten what is pre-established, the dominating vision of the world and yourself. So as you are there standing in the way, there's nothing there that can make much of a difference. Because, like I said, the chief of police is the robber, and he is conducting or controlling the investigations. So whatever changes you are making, whatever practices you are engaging or not engaging, whatever, it follows the specifics and it goes through, how do you say this, controlled environment, not that, but there's not really so much, it's not really original, because nothing new is there. You see, because what you see in your perception is just a little bit of what's going on. So in your mind, everything may be changing in front of you, but it's really not. And even sometimes you're being exposed to a situation that is there intended to break a little bit of your world, but you're interpreting that, siding it with your ideas of what is best to happen. And you're passing through it, but it's not really touching you. You're convinced of a lot of things. Understand, if you don't know who you are, if you're not self-realized or enlightened, that means your eyes are closed and you're being played by yourself. This is the best way to see it. There is no deniability, it's just, if you're not enlightened, then you're being played by yourself. And you're believing all those things because they seem right in your perspective of what right is. You are the obstacle. And you're so sure about so many things that there's no room for guidance, for real guidance. Maybe there's a little room for something that you call guidance, which is those bits and pieces. And you will see those bits and pieces that you can fit in your world, and you will neglect those bits and pieces that are threatening your world. And it will be very true. This is why guidance is so important, because it is the means out of your world. Because whatever steps you are giving, they are inside your world. And these days, mind represents such an important place because, well, see, this idea that spirituality has to follow specific rules, as being a specific way, then it is right, or is this is completely naive vision. Teachings are there to break your world, to break your beliefs, not to confirm them. Not to confirm them. But something that comes and breaks your world. Where do you stand? Where is your safe place? There isn't. So this is why very few can open themselves to this. Because, well, that's not what the majority is looking for. You see, the hand that guides is always present in the way that it is possible. In the way that it is possible. And if you have to interpret, if you feel that you're getting guidance, you probably are, but what kind of guidance? If you're interpreting bits and pieces and this and that, and you have a feeling now and this, and it is not direct guidance. And if it is direct guidance, if it's not direct guidance, it means that there is little room. And you see, direct guidance, well, it's like a bulldozer. It comes and it breaks everything as it goes by. It doesn't put everything neatly and tight. And those who pray a lot for guidance, there are two kinds of those who pray for guidance. Those who have no idea of what guidance is, and those who really understand what guidance is, the meaning of guidance for them. They both pray intensely. But the greedy one, the one that thinks that he has more to gain with guidance, because he will achieve faster his goals, well, he will get some surprises. And eventually, or that greediness changes, or he cannot endure it. Even so, more so because it's not in tune for what he is looking for. Because when guidance comes, direct guidance, you'll be facing your innermost fears, difficulties, insecurities. It will break your world. And things move pretty faster. Very intense and fast. And eventually, those who come to the point of really knowing the importance of guidance, it doesn't mean that they're ready, because then they will have to go through the challenges. They have reached this point because they have gone for so long into their ideas, investments, common sense, and all of this, and it is meaningless as the thirst increases. Because if there's no thirst, just a small grain of sand seems like a big mountain. And after going through all of this, wasting so much time, they understand the value and they Pray for it intensely, wholeheartedly. And usually, it comes in a way that it's not really understood yet, because tests will come to see if from where do you stand? Is it greed or is it sincerity? Because there's usually both in every seeker. But then as you are exposed, you are being tested, then you will affirm which one is more important, the greed or the part that really wants freedom. So I'll repeat it again. If you're not enlightened, then you're trapped in that mental cage. Mind will never lead you out from there. It will create experiences, it will make whatever is needed for self-preservation. So no way your mind is going to lead you out. This is why surrender is a must. But it's not something that you trade with. Oh, I've got surrender, I'll trade it for something. No, it is a needed state for you to be able to receive guidance, for guidance to be there, or for you to be able to receive it. Without it, impossible. So a lot of work, spiritual work, supposed spiritual work, is done in studying scriptures, spiritual practices, not much, unfortunately, because, well, meditation is something that helps everyone despite their level of ignorance, and it creates a possibility. It creates a possibility. So a lot of endeavors are made in spiritual practices, contexts, circumstances, investing in this area and looking for the best teachings, the best whatever teachings are there to help and this and that. But the most important investment there is in the life of a seeker of truth is humility and surrender. Because apart from, or instead of, these fancy ideas that there are in the mind of a seeker about the goals of spirituality and freedom and all of this, instead of being sophisticated and knowledgeable and all of this, his only treasures will lie in humility, surrender, his vision of the divine, sacredness which lies in his heart. If it is expanding, growing or not. Because that's what will make the difference when guidance comes. Direct guidance. Direct guidance. And direct guidance, you don't have to feel this or that, or imagine this or that, or think about it, what will be. It will be like this, do this. Direct. Even when the guidance comes from an embodied master, whatever that means, depending on the seeker. There's just few cases, very few cases, when the master can speak directly to the disciple and saying this or that. Most of the times he can only speak in a way that makes the disciple reflect and then act upon, to be for sure corrected later and again, because there's really no room. Having room for guidance, it is something which is very difficult because you occupy a big space. So from all spiritual work, if the basis is not humility and surrender, if this is not being worked every day in every situation, taking up all opportunities for this, it will not go far. It has nowhere to go. And understand, appearances are deceiving, and you will want to deceive yourself. It's not very difficult to deceive you because that's what you want. You want to believe the narrative because it protects a lot of interests. So this is why I'm giving you this vision. If you're not enlightened, then you're being played by yourself. It doesn't matter if you're really not enlightened or if you think you are or whatever. And with this vision, you will know that for sure something is wrong. And if guidance is not there directly, then it means that you're occupying a big space. There's not really room for that guidance. Intellectually, you may say that, yes, there is. And I've seen this. And people crying and in big despair and saying, but no, I want guidance and all of this. I've seen this, but this is what they believe. Innerly is not the case. And whenever there is something to be gained, this is where you apply yourself intensely. But the real journey, the journey of dissolution of pseudo-identity, starts when you start to lose that which is precious. Doesn't matter what it is. It's not a win-win. It will be, of course, eventually. It will be. But that will not be the experience. It will be just lose-lose, nothing to win. And this is difficult because, well, it comes the pointers. If it's feeling good, if it is flowing, then it is right. If it's not feeling good, if it's not flowing, if it's difficult, hard, not right. Probably I repeated myself in the two parts, but I think you understand. So as the guidance you are getting is more or less aligned and not creating chaos, for sure it's not direct guidance. Direct guidance is not there to waste time. It's not there to entertain you. And it takes a long time to come, to appear. You will have to show yourself relentless, dedicated, committed. And when it is direct, there's no room for interpretation. And as guidance comes, terror arises in your heart. If it's not immediate, it will come. Because it is directly untying the knots or breaking them. It's not there massaging them and massaging and massaging and massaging. And I see a lot of seekers that are convinced that they are under guidance, but they are still far away from it. But they are convinced, so what to do? Nothing. If they're good, well, they're good. But in most of them, sincerity is there, but they are not able to see because they trust their own mind, their own convictions, their own visions. The best feedback is always there. And that is, if you're not enlightened, you're being played by yourself. Okay, so question here. I'm dying as the spontaneous Kundalini awakening. I have completely collapsed as the energy moves all over my body. I can hardly work now. Please help. No help needed for now. If this is happening like this, well, give it some time and it will pass. And then, well, I don't know, if it is spontaneous awakening, it means that probably you're not doing anything for it. So starting a spiritual discipline will be very important. But this is very, you don't say much here. So if you want me to complement a little bit more, well, you have to be more specific. But these experiences, they come for people at certain times, and they are pointing a direction. So these intense experiences may present themselves like this, and it is a process of preparation, and then it will need your investment, your attention, your dedication, your surrender. And I have seen a lot of things like this, sometimes in different ways, and people imagine that after that they are enlightened or something like this, and then they see that with time things are not in that sense. So the work of the seeker of truth is a must, is very important. So if you're going, you probably can go through these situations prior to any spiritual practices as a result of past karma or something like this, or it is the moment where a new journey starts, or you can go through this after intense spiritual practices. And that is according to the direction you need to follow. So if it is spontaneous, start some meditation practice and intensify it. But if it's not possible to do anything, just wait, rest, and things will normalize, whatever that means. And then pick it up. So for direct guidance, maturity has to be there, or the potential for maturity. It is unmistakable. Indirect guidance, it means that directions are being presented, but you are filtering them, interpreting them with your instruments. You are making decisions. And as you are making decisions, it's not the same yet. And again, it will move in the boundaries of your delusion, not beyond them. Everything is conditioned by you. You are the obstacle. So humility and surrender are the pillars. And this needs to be in the front of your daily spiritual work. Your mind will tell you a lot of things. That which suits, which fits what needs there to be preserved. Like the chief of police investigating the robber, that is himself, that investigation will never go far. It may appear to be going far, but it won't. Chief of police will make sure. So questioning yourself is always more important. Instead of affirming and confirming and justifying what is there, questioning it is always much better. Because if you just take the narrative which is being imposed, then, well, and you see, time is the most fundamental treasure that you have. If there's any other aspects about guidance that you need clarify, well, you can send your questions now or wherever you hear this. Okay. And I will repeat, if you look at your world, if you look into what's happening in there, trying to justify what you want things to be, you will not see it. You need to look questioning. Is guidance pushing you intensely? Is terror coming out? Are you being taken to break attachments and all of this intensely? Because the more intense it becomes, the more close it is. And this direct guidance, it's much more impersonal. If the seeker is still immature, if it needs to be taken care of, so this lovingly aspect will be present, this divine lap and all of this. But as it matures, it will become more impersonal and more impersonal. First security is given, then it is taken away. So I will leave you with your reflections on this. And next satsang will be Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning, UTC -3 Brazilian time. Till then, well, make the best use of your time. Watch.